Hi, I'm Ellie Silson and this is Julie Johnson from the Success Club, author of 10 Business Lessons from a Small Business Owner and Stepping into Success, the 7 Essential Moves to Bring Your Business to Life. So today we're going to be focusing on you as a business owner and what you need to start and grow your business. So Julie, give us a bit of your background, tell us about your startup story.
Okay, hello, first of all, and hi Ellie, thanks for inviting me. Well, I never set out to be an entrepreneur. I mean, it's not something that was in my blood, it's not something that anyone in my family had done. It's not even something that, where some people look at what's missing or want to improve things, like the Bransons and the Michelle and Moon, and want to kind of make things better or bring something new out. It was more related to, I suppose some people do this because of redundancy or a change in circumstances, and it was a bit of a light bulb moment for me, to be honest, because I was working full time, I had small school-aged children, I was running a task force and working ridiculous hours, and it got to a point one evening at midnight, it was kind of all set in motion then actually, because at midnight I suddenly stopped and asked myself, what on earth am I doing? Because I was working on the laptop. And for once, I did stop and kind of consider and explore and realise that I wasn't very happy doing what I was doing. And that actually, what I did was sent a one-line resignation email.
Wow,
there and then, did that, sent it off, because one of the things I realised was going to happen was I was going to be off with stress because I was so, I was kind of getting so worked up, I was working so many hours. But I also realised at that point, actually, it wasn't just the organisation that was making me do that work, it was expectations I put on myself.
Yes.
But anyway, that was the start of my kind of entrepreneurial journey. But even then, other people had to kind of sow the seeds because I handed my notice in without any idea of what I wanted to do.
Right. Okay.
Other than I didn't want to be a senior manager anymore. So what I did, I had to work 3 months' notice, and I had people telling me I was absolutely crazy, and some people asking me whether I was going to set up on my own. And I do remember saying at the time, there's no way I could do that. I can sell for other people, I can sell other people's products and services, but selling myself, whoa, no way, that's a step too far. But that obviously did it kind of sowed a seed, I think. And the other thing that did, I got some information while I was working my notice about a coaching qualification.
Okay.
And I'd never heard of coaching before. It was kind of new in the UK at the time. And that really appealed because what I realised I wanted to do, what I had to do was figure out what I wanted to do and what I was really good at. And what I loved about the management jobs and my previous roles in HR and development was actually helping people grow and develop. So I knew I wanted to kind of focus on that. So I got really clear about what I wanted to do, but as I say, I wasn't ready at that stage to kind of step straight into self-employment. So I decided what I wanted was to get more experience and more confidence and better skills at presenting and training, because I'd only done a teeny bit of that.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to get a part-time job. And it's amazing, actually, when you get really clear and very focused about what you want and how you want to go about things. I got job offers, so I managed to choose what kind of job I wanted. So I managed to set my own hours, so I wanted to work 2 days a week. I wanted to do some specific work. I wanted to work with a different type of organisation, so they were a really small one and I'd come from a really big organisation. And I wanted to do my coaching qualification. So I kind of developed a crossover plan, if you like.
Yeah.
So I wanted to put myself in the position of being more confident, of having a little bit of money behind me, so I wasn't going to be too worried about the money situation, and just have more skills and expertise to be able to do that. So that's what I did. So in 2000, I got that part-time job. In 2002, I set up my coaching practice, but for that first year, I ran them both together.
That's great. 2003,
I left my part-time job, but actually managed to negotiate a contract. So I had some associate work.
Wow.
For 12 months that was kind of already lined up for me.
That's brilliant.
Which again helped. So that was great for me. So that's what I advise a lot of people to do, but some people kind of either can't do that or their circumstances are different. But certainly that's what worked for me. And I definitely learned a lot along the way.
Yeah.
I've pivoted quite a few times. I think some people call it pivoting, some people call it changing their minds. But what I've learned is that provided you focus on the clients and what their problems are or what they're aiming towards, provided that's your focus, and you stay resilient and you stay flexible and open and persistent, then you can actually achieve what you want within your business for yourself, but also for your clients. Yeah. So that's a very long-winded start.
That's perfect. No, that's great. So let's start by saying, for myself, say I wanted to start a business, but I'm full of self-doubt. So how do I change my mindset around this?
Okay, well, there's a few things. I mean, number one, you need to realise that everyone has doubt. Everyone has self-doubt. And certainly this is a big step for most people. So doubts can really surface at this point. So you're not alone. That's the first step. The other thing I would say is, for some people, if sometimes the fear of not earning any money or the potential of not earning any money immediately and not having that kind of stable income can be so all-consuming that it's difficult for them to kind of get out of that and motivate themselves. So I would suggest that crossover plan in the way that I did. Either sticking with a job and doing that in some of your spare time, or changing it to part-time if you can, and kind of doing it that way. But if that's not a huge issue and you're kind of ready to step in, then actually one of the first self-development books I read was called, I don't know whether you've heard of it, Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway.
Yes.
Susan Jeffers. I know it's a bit of a classic, but that really struck a chord with me first off. And it's really just about saying that the only way to work through your fears is to actually work through them, is to go into them. But what you need to do in that instance, of course, is kind of, you have a big goal and you need to chunk it right down. So you need to be looking at plans or steps that you feel capable of doing. So if something's too scary, what's the first thing that you can do?
Okay. Yeah. No, that's really good advice. So what if I am a business owner then? So we talked about starting a business, but if I'm a business owner, I want to grow it, where do I start?
Well, where you start, I would say, depends on what the main issues are for you. So what I mean by that is there are three main ways to grow a business. So you need to get more prospective clients, you need to convert those clients. You need to get more prospective clients, or more leads.
Right, yeah.
Convert them into clients.
Okay.
You need to get more money or sell more to those clients initially. And the third way is to get more business from those clients, so either to get repeat business or to get additional business from them. Now, there are lots of other ways of growing a business, but I just want to kind of keep it simple. So if you're already running a business, then chances are you're going to have some data, you're going to have some numbers or some ideas of some of these areas. So if we take that first one, so just getting new clients. So this is about three areas. It's about marketing, which is how do I get people interested in potentially becoming a client or just knowing about me. There's sales, which is the converting those people into actual clients. And then there's operations, so you've got them as a client, so how do you deliver? How do you meet their expectations and exceed their expectations? So if you've got data that tells you how many prospective clients you have, so how many people on your database or how many people in your pipeline, if you've got data on how many of those you can you're already converting into clients, what kind of percentage. If you've got data on the average spend or the spend initially for that person, then you can kind of look at, okay, if I'm not converting, if I'm getting a lot of people that are interested but I'm not converting enough, then you can focus on that. Or even if all of those things are really good, incremental changes, percentages, can make a huge impact. So as I say, it really depends on the areas where you feel you can have the biggest impact. So it may be on generating new clients, it may be on, the second area was just trying to get them to buy more initially. So you might actually be limiting yourself in that area, for instance. You may not have a very high value product or service that you offer, so in that case you're limiting your income and you're limiting the growth potential if you haven't actually got anything to offer anybody at that point. And then the third area is getting people repeat business or, you know, buying more from you.
Yeah.
So it may be that you haven't really considered your customer journey, or you need to look at that customer journey. Do you have clear entry points where people come in? Is there a logical next step? So what you focus on will be dictated by, oh, if that's not very clear, or people are coming in and then leaving and not coming back, where are they falling out? So as I say, it really depends, but they are kind of the three main areas I would focus on first.
Oh no, that's great. So we've talked about if I want to start a business, how I want to grow a business, but if I'm not particularly good at like managing my own time, how do I actually rectify this?
This is the classic.
Yeah,
including me.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
all of the stuff I teach is stuff that I have to go through and have gone through, and it kind of worked out for myself as well. But when we talk about time management, there's kind of two ways that you can approach this. One is in terms of effectiveness, and the other is in terms of efficiency. So a really simple explanation. It's very simplified, but a really simple explanation. Effectiveness is doing the right things, and efficiency is doing things right. Okay, so if we concentrate on effectiveness first, because that's what's going to have the biggest impact, if you're doing the right things right. The 80-20 rule, I'm sure a lot of people will have heard of Pareto principle. That's the 80-20 rule, where 80% of your results come as a result of kind of 20% of your activities. So you need to be figuring out, if you're bad at managing time, that would be my first, or that would be the first step, is to figure out what are your high impact activities. So for instance, if you're running a business on your own, so just like in my business, there's myself and I work with associates, but there's just myself that's employed in the business, then it would be income generating activities that I'd need to focus on. So that would be actual client work, the potential of client work, so business development or marketing, and I always say invoicing in with that for my clients because it's a lifeline. Well, it's not forget completely, but it's kind of put the invoicing back. It's the last thing they want to do the job, and whereas I now invoice up front. So there are different ways. There are different ways of doing that. So that's if you're on your own. If you've got a bigger team, if you've got a small business and you're employing staff, then what you need to focus on as the business leader may be different. It may be that you need to help your staff do the best jobs possible, or do the right things and do things right. So that would be looking at processes and systems, and involving staff. I would always say involve staff in that, because they're very often people best placed to help you see what's actually happening and how it could be improved. So you can kind of write down, this is the way we do it here, this is our system, or this is our process. So that's effectiveness. I mean, efficiency would be, once you're clear on what are the main things that are going to give you the biggest returns, efficiency is more about getting rid of distractions, looking at your environment, looking at things that waste or steal your time. And I've got an ebook on my website, which is top 10 time stealers, so people can kind of have a look at that and see what they can do in that respect. That's helpful.
So we'll put that in the comments below. So you talked about your team. So how do you manage a team? What is like the most common traps that people fall into managing a team?
Well, this is interesting, because although I said I was managing a task force when I kind of handed my notice in full-time employment, so I was managing a team. So I kind of know what good looks like, but actually part of me didn't want to do that anymore. And I think I fell into some of these traps myself. And the first one is actually demotivating your staff. Now, it's unintentional. I call these accidental mistakes, because very often we fall into them because we are nice people and wanting to do a good job. So we're not doing it for the wrong reasons. They're for the right reasons, but they don't necessarily have the right impact. So they have they can sometimes have a negative impact. So for instance, things like when you're requesting something as a manager of a member of the staff, how you instruct them, or what you ask specifically for. Are you clear? Are you clear that they understand what's expected of them? Are you setting clear boundaries? Do they know their responsibility? Do they have time frames? There are all kinds of things, because people don't like to ask. They don't like to seem stupid.
Yes.
So they don't like to ask those kinds of questions. So you can demotivate them because they think, oh my God, I feel a bit stupid because I don't really know what I'm supposed to do, or whether she wants that then, or what I should do first, or all of those kinds of things. What else? Thinking you've got all the answers is a biggie, because not necessarily thinking you've got all the answers, but thinking you need to have all the answers, that can really demotivate stuff, because what that means is that you don't involve them and you don't ask them questions.
Okay.
Yeah? Another trap that again, to myself, is an over-dependency or an over-reliance on some key people.
Yes.
Now, again, this happens because we feel that those people or a certain person is absolutely critical. You know, we can't do without them.
Yes.
That whatever we're trying to achieve is not going to be successful if they're not there. But that can sometimes lead to an over-dependence, and you can sort of treat those people a bit differently, you know, and obviously that will impact not just on those people, but on the rest of your staff. If they see that they're getting preferential treatment, or you're not quite being straightforward or totally honest with them. And the flip side of that is another trap, is trying to do too much, so taking on too much responsibility. It's a bit like, you know, I call it the hero syndrome as well, you know, the Superman, Superwoman, give it to me, I'll do it all, I'll do everything. But again, all that demonstrates to your staff, they might like it initially, but all that demonstrates is you don't really trust them.
Yes. Yeah. No, absolutely.
So you can kind of lose the respect, or you can get resentment from people and you can also become the blockage, of course, because if you're taking on everybody else's responsibility and they're waiting for you to get back to them, you haven't got time to do it, then you're causing the blockage and stopping them doing what they're supposed to be doing. So there are ways that we do it unintentionally, but I think they are traps.
We do it a lot of the time.
Yeah.
So going back to time management, so if I'm a business owner, I'm very limited for time and can't get everything done, which means the business will suffer. What do I do in that stage? So if I am the business owner, I want to do everything, like you say, and you don't have time to do it.
Yeah.
What do I do?
Well, number one, you need to start to delegate. Okay. And that's a biggie for lots of people, because we think we're the best person to do it, nobody else will do it the way we would do it, nobody else will do it in the right time frame or to the right quality standard or whatever. And to be quite honest, you've just got to get over that.
Okay.
Because there is no way to grow the business.
Yeah.
There is no way to do more of some of the things that you might want to do if you're keeping tight rein on everything. So I would say, yes, firstly, look at, is there anything that anyone else could do or even should do, because they might be better at it than you are. And think about what's minimum effort, maximum gain. So what's going to give you the best return. So that's back to that 80-20.
Yeah.
I would say go back to that.
Absolutely. Thank you. Max, have we got any questions come in? No questions. Thank you very much, Julie. We'll put all the details about Julie down in the comments below.